Kiwi Magician says, how do you handle gotcha questions? That sounds like a Mexican bean dish of some type. I'm going to get a bowl of gotcha to go with my tequila, have my siesta at my hacienda, and then do a hat dance. So I'm assuming you mean gotcha, okay, like gotcha, like in other words, a trick question. Now, the vast majority of job interview questions you're going to encounter are trick questions, some outright, and others kind of subtle ones. The king of trick questions is, what is your weakness? Because usually the way it works is that the moment you actually give a weakness, you give them what they're looking for, you lose. Same with, what are your salary expectations? We need a number. We need you to tell us how much money you need. The moment you give a number, you're dead. It's bad for you. Either you priced yourself out of the market because it's too high, or you tied yourself to a low number that they're going to anchor their offer to if you get that far. So it's bad for you either way. There's a lot of trick questions. So there is no one way of handling them all. The only thing I can say in a very general sense is learn the standard answers to the standard job interview questions so you can't fall for these sort of first level traps. Like, for example, they might say, where do you see yourself in 5 years, right? And being an honest, helpful person, like you are, Kiwi Magician, you're honest with them and you say, well, I need money, so I do this kind of work. But one day I hope to really make it as an author. I know I'm stacking pallets and collapsing boxes and stuff in a warehouse today, and that's what this job is for. I get that. And this is what I do, for a living. But in 5 years, I'm really hoping that my writing career will have taken off. This book that I'm going to write, basically by using ChatGPT. I'm going to get ChatGPT to write it for me, and I'm going to put my name on it and hope nobody notices. I think it's a perfect plan. And I don't envision myself doing this ever again. So basically what you said is that in 5 years, you see yourself doing something completely different to this job, right? You just failed the question. You walked into the trap, right? If you say anything other than I want to be in this job or something very close to it, you basically fail, right? They're setting you up for a fall. They're probing for is this the case? And if it is, you say it and then they eliminate you, right? So most job interview questions are some form of trick question, right? That's why you got to rehearse these things. It's not that hard to do. You can just do a Google search and find decent answers you can get on ChatGPT and get answers to this. Or you can watch my videos and get even better answers. Learn the answers, memorize them. And then when you go to a job interview, you are aware that, they're probing for this. Well, I'm not going to fall into that trap. They ask that question what would your boss say is the worst thing about you, or something like that. They ask you these questions and, you say, well, thank you for that question. That's a brilliant question. I would have to say that my boss, if you asked him what, he thought of me, he would say, that effing jackass. I can't wait till he's out of here because, quite frankly, he pisses me off. He smells and he doesn't do very good work. And what work he does a terrible job, but he does it really slowly. So it's not as bad as you think. And, I just hate his guts. Right. But it's fine because we're friends, or something like that. Right. And they say, well, thank you very much. That's great. That you've told us this, and we certainly appreciate it. And we'll be in touch, and they've eliminated you. So they're all trick questions. Step 1, learn the answers to these, memorize them. Step 2, do practice interviews with a friend or family member. Get them to do a pretend job interview with you. They be the interviewer, you be the candidate, and do a whole bunch of these, right? If you want to really level it up, you can hire a career coach. Maybe just do one session with the career coach. I'm not a career coach, by the way. I don't offer those services, so I'm not talking about myself. But a lot of people are career coaches. I collaborate with another YouTuber. She's a career coach. Maybe one interview, a mock interview with them, and they can give you some professional feedback from a recruiter and say, give you some pointers here and there about your answers or the way you're answering the questions, something like that. That's how you really get good at this. if you're going to be dealing with recruiters. Not everybody deals with recruiters. A lot of people deal with people at higher levels, but if you're dealing with recruiters, that's kind of probably the way to do it.